Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
It's time for the AOG Porsche Cup to return, Season 9 for 2024 of this very, very fun and entertaining championship. Heads to Algarve in Portugal for the first time. And it's going to be one action-packed night of racing with our Pro-Am and Am drivers out on track once again. New list of drivers, familiar names returning, but very, very prestigious championship rights and bragging rights up for grabs. Hello everyone, my name is Jay Kennedy and I will be joined in the booth tonight by the organiser himself, Mr. Dan Yeaman. Dan, thank you for jumping in at relative short notice with a few people out with illness and other commitments. It's left to the bottom of the pecking order for commentators, but I think we're going to have a very entertaining night. You get to watch from the other side as well, your own series. That'll be fun for you as well.
Yeah, thanks for that, Jay. I mean, yeah, unfortunately not going to have Reece Gardner as we will have for the rest of the season. I believe also Brady Bourne might have put his hand up there, and we're also maybe hoping to have Scott Rankin in as substitute. Unfortunately, Scott not feeling too well, so all the best to you, Scott, to hopefully be feeling a little bit better shortly on. But yeah, I'm usually indeed off on the other side of things as race director for Aussie Online Gaming events, but here I am tonight in the commentary box. And yeah, unfortunately, socials have definitely been a little bit quiet on things here, but nevertheless, and as you said, brand new season of Porsche Cup here, our 9th season through AOG, and yeah, coming up on the Big 10 anniversary, which is pretty crazy in some respects, but we'll get to that next year as well. But here we are tonight to kick things off in Portugal at the Algarve International Circuit, or otherwise indeed known as the Portimao Circuit, Jay. And yeah, looking forward to this one here. Going to be plenty of twists and turns to get this season underway tonight.
Very, very cool track, and you may remember this track hosted Formula One during the COVID era, and it was very, very cool racing at this circuit during that. This is my first broadcast at this circuit as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it does play out. I believe you've done a couple with V8 Vets here last season, so you've had a bit more experience here, but this track does lend itself to very, very good racing because that run down the front straight does provide a real entertaining segment with a very, very tight complex of 3 right-handers at turns 1, 2, and 3, with then the flow out of 4 and another tight braking zone into 5.
Yeah, that will certainly be an exciting bit of racing to watch. And I think, as you said, yeah, the first sector, the main straight, the big one here on the circuit, obviously is backed up by the run from turns 4 to 5 as well. But then, yeah, you really get into the flow through the back half of the circuit. In addition to that turn 1, 2, 3, the triple right hand complex into this sort of slow down, speed up, and then slow right down for turn 3 as well in that too. So yeah, I've seen it with some V8 racing, open wheel racing as well in some other leagues, and yeah, now I get to see our Porsche Cup cars, which have been updated since we also last drove them here in this series too. A pretty major overhaul in quite a few areas of the car. So we're waiting to see how that performs here tonight and what the drivers think of it, as well as how they make the most of it out there. So speaking of things, drivers are currently in the midst of qualifying. We divide everyone up into the driver classes. We have 3 of them, AM, Pro-Am and Pro, which are configured based on iRating at this stage. We were thinking of making a slight change to exactly how we calculated that for maybe drivers who are on the bubble between classes and had pace to be up a class, or maybe if they're substantially down on pace versus what their iRating said it was, or iRating they gained in other cars. But alas, for now, straight pure iRating determines where you're at on class. We're currently, pro drivers just getting there. Q3, our final group, underway now. And then, 2 races tonight, 17 laps apiece, 35-minute time limit in case of safety cars, but we shouldn't need that, given the speeds we're seeing here so far this evening. No compulsory pit stops, but there is an inverted top 10 for race number 2 to make things a little bit interesting and make sure we're really testing, hopefully seeing some good racecraft out there to kick that second race off.
Yeah, the reverse top 10 also really shook up the Pro-Am Championship last year as well. If you get yourself into the back of the top 10 for race 1, you had a real big advantage over your opponents in race 2. So I'm sure we'll be seeing that little battle around the bottom end of the top 10. It's Ryan Jones, currently the fastest driver out on track. Watch Harry Lawrence come in. This is the run into the hairpin at turn number 5. One of my favourite parts of this track. We love that heavy braking zone down there.
Yeah, that will be a good one to watch off the bat. Because with turn 1, it's such a long straight into turn 1. But being a mid-speed, third gear corner, not as prime and overtaking opportunity as some would say. But it does set up the turn 3 hairpin. But get the nice run up through turns 4 and then a real big pull up on the brakes for turn 5. So definitely good opportunities there as we're now watching him already up towards turns 10 and 11. With no ABS in these cars and not that much aero to help you pull it up, it is a pretty tricky part of the circuit here. And then dropping back down, the car loads up through turn 12, but then it will unload here into turn 13 to again try and really slow it down. These cars here also finding that, especially in these first couple of laps, the driver's probably going to be really frustrated by a lack of front grip. At least that seems to be some of the commentary with these cars, even post the updates. As you can see now, pro drivers coming in and their first flying lap times in behind Ryan Jones's benchmark as the front of the Pro-Am driver. No, it will be Lachlan Capel though on his first lap on the board, who actually will though set a 146.6 to go to the top of the charts for now.
This lap for Harry Lawrence sits him back in 20th overall, 11th in class, so he's a little bit off the pace there, but a lot of drivers will go and run a second lap as well. They'll go and push on for that lap and do a second one. So we'll see a few drivers do multiple runs.
Yeah, that we will indeed. Given that, as per all road racing leagues that we run, the no escape rule is in effect currently, which means that the drivers have to request permission to tow if they can't make it back to the pits, or otherwise they be careful if they do go back to the pits. So there's your original pollster on screen, Lachlan Capel with Evolution Racing Team. ERT currently repping 4 drivers here tonight. They'll have a 5th in Bo Albert, hopefully by round 2, which will be in 2 weeks' time as well, to round out the squad there for this season. And all of their drivers currently in the pro class, so they'll be able to form up and bring the fight to some of our other guys here at the top. As just in behind Lachlan Capel's been a little spin for Stuart Ellis. Looks like hopefully that didn't trip anyone up, but it has lost him that particular lap, of course. As focusing on our original pole sitter of Capel as Dyson jumps to the top of the charts in the DPR Racing 41. Is Capel on an improvement here in the number 8 machine? Not quite by the looks of things. It will be Corey Lazarus, though, who will go and supersede Dyson's time. The 404 from Blackout OPR after being, emerging to us in Season 6 of this series. Really coming on strong in Season 7 and 8 as one of the front runners in the Procast. Once again, putting a marker down here with just under 6 minutes left in the session. As eyes on Daniel Benefield here, Joe.
Yeah, Benefield yet to post a time. Still this lap will be a little bit off the pace. But I think he's sort of done a couple of slower out laps to build up the tyres. We do know from past experience that the tyres in these cars do take a lot to get heat into them. So they do last a while, these tyres. So a couple of slow out laps to get a bit of even spread in the tyres is not the worst strategy in these qualifying sessions. We do see a bit of funkiness with qualifying in not only this series, but also right the way up to the elite level in the Porsche Cup cars. So, yeah, I'm not surprised to see someone trying something a little bit left field with Benefield on now his third attempt, but this will be his first proper time lap.
Yeah, that will be important to note here, because also we tried to configure the session that track might cool down slightly here towards the end of it, so give our drivers in Pro Class best conditions. I mean, obviously there's the fact that rubber has been going down. They had over an hour to jump in and practice tonight as part of the race service, so that's also time to put rubber down and improve the state of the circuit. So yeah, whole bunch of things to consider there as to exactly where can Dan put himself, because he was certainly, I think, well, I would be surprised if he wasn't hoping to be competitive here in this season. He's got Simon Mazzomo joining him from the 9.5 SimSport stables. Mez currently, for this season, classified in the Pro-Am class, though. So in saying that, talking about the classes real quick, Jay, whilst we do have the three of them, all drivers are out there racing for outright positions. Points are awarded based on your outright finishing position. So for our drivers who are at the pointy end in Pro-Am when it comes to lap time, they don't need to be jumping out of the way of the Pro Class guys. Obviously, if they feel like it's going to let them out of some trouble, they're welcome to do so. As Benefield 47.7 is still 1.4 seconds off the pace. It's put him 16th in class, which I think would be somewhere there between 21st outright. Yes, okay. So, yeah, still having to wind into it. And as we were mentioning here, as I said, yeah, time is running out. 3.5 minutes left in the session to improve. And with that, crunch time going to be coming out, as well as Andrew Dyson. We've seen him a couple of times here for AOG. It's sort of been a bit intermittent. He's back once again for round one of this season, and a striking new paint job for the 41 DPR racing entry.
It's got a real 80s vibe. It's got like a Miami Vice vibe to it. It's got a I don't know what else to describe it. It's a very retro feel, a very neon 80s feel to it. I really like it, really dig it.
Yeah, definitely also the contrast between this one and Ryan Jones's DPR racing paint, which is actually
black.
mostly all black with red highlights. Definitely, yeah, it looks the part. So Dyson going to wind up. This will be his final chance to get a flyer in, because he won't be able to get back around and do 2 laps. Was that off the track there at the exit of turn 1? Quite possibly could have been, which would mean, unfortunately, P2 will be the best he can start tonight. And obviously, track like this, I believe, and seeing it here, yeah, that will indeed be it. Just actually reading here real quick. So the standard rule for off tracks here at Algarve is you have to keep half your car within the white lines. But if there's green painted asphalt to the exit of a circuit, you may run up to it. But if all 4 tyres end up on it, then you're outside the limits there as well. Another driver, or another team, I should say, as well, has got some strong representation here this season. To start off, Dynamic Sim Sports bringing 4 drivers to the party. Stuart Ellis, we've seen race several seasons now in the past, and looking to see what he can do here to kick his season 9 off. Currently, there you go, 9th outright, 8th in class, and he's looking to be on a flyer at this stage, it would appear. As up through turn 8, he will go there, and again, cresting the hill, trying to get the power to gently apply there in these cars. Because if I did make a mention of here, current air temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. Track temperature has come down from the starting temps of around 45. It's still 44 degrees Celsius there on the asphalt beneath those Michelin slick tyres.
The track temp as well will start to cool off as the racing does progress throughout the night. We do see, I believe you're running it again, where the weather or the time of day will progress like a real racing weekend.
That I am indeed, yep. So actually, yeah, we'll jump forward a couple of hours here in a little bit to a much cooler evening conditions. So the racing conditions will be a little bit more favourable than it happened to be for qualifying. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, like obviously, like it is a bit of extra hassle. But one of the funny things is, I should say, was that I edited the session a couple of times this week before it went up tonight, and every time I went in to edit it, it actually changed the times of day on me. It tried to reset back to just a one-to-one time progression, real world versus in simmers. Ryan Bates here, new to the series this season, joining the Blackout OPR ensemble. Oh, unfortunately, just a 10th off his personal best, so he'll have to stay in 4th place for now as the clock strikes 0, and that will be it. The heat server format means that will eject everyone back to the pit lane, and it's almost time to get ready to go racing here, Jay. I'll give us a 3-minute grid timer, but time to walk through our opening field of drivers here for Season 9 of the AOG Porsche Cup, and Corey Lazarus going to put the Blackout OPR / Sonic Motor Racing 404 on the pole position. Bonus point to him, fastest driver in the pro class as well for that reason. Andrew Dyson will share the front row with him here tonight. And it's good to see that we've got 3 teams in the top 4 with Matt Bowler for Evolution Racing Team leading the charge from ERT there, the number 12. Only 2/10 off Lazarus's pole time there. In 3rd, Ryan Bates next to the Blackout OPR entries there in 4th place. And then we get to Lock and Cable next from ERT there in the number 8 machine for 5th. Tyson Broad from Drop Bear Motorsport will be starting off of the 3rd row there in P number 6. It'll be Dylan Shepherd out of 7th place, the next of our Blackout OPR cars. They're coming pretty evenly there, indeed. And then our first Pro-Am driver, so bonus point to Ryan Jones for pole in the Pro-Am class in the number 11. The top 10 going to be rounded out by Stuart Ellis and Samuel Sprout, both in the Pro class. Dynamic Sim Sport represented there in the 10 with the next of our OPR drivers as well.
There we go, back to Robbie Gibbs in position number 11. Different look ERT car for him there with Jacob Lucas, second of our Pro-Am drivers. He'll start in that position number 12. 13th, we'll go to Harrison Lillis for Drop Bear Motorsport, and then Thomas Hinz in the 52. Great to see Hinzy back. He'll start from 14th position. 15th will be Daniel Benefield. He'll be a little disappointed with that starting back there. Then the leader of our AM drivers, Ben Jeffrey, in the Bluebell Racing Team car. I do like that pink. It does look very, very cool. Hayden Veld and Nick Carroll on the 9th row. And the 10th row will be Matthew Boylett and Aidan Cale. From there, we go back to Simon Mazzomo and Joshua Van Treek in the Pro-Am. From there, we go back further to Adam Jepson and Stefan Lawrence in 23rd and 24th. 25th will be Ryan Preston with Harry Lawrence a long way back. He'll start from 26th position. We've got Dean Jacobson and Alan Dawson. Top 28, top 30 rounded out by Brody Shepherd and Greg Patrick. The last 3 drivers to set qualifying times, Dan Mirko, PJ Whiteman, and the last driver in the field will be Matthew Deere. Did not post a lap time. Fingers crossed we do not see the McLaren safety car throughout the night.
Yeah, fingers crossed there indeed. Isaac Edwards will be the designated safety car driver if necessary, with Tom Wilkinson and Sam Blacklock assisting this evening. And of course, as I said, usually I'd be on that side of the divide, but not tonight. So 5 seconds left until we'll get the lights here and the revs to pick up as we wait to see who can get the jump here at the front of the field. 17 laps is the expected race distance. 35 minutes if it all goes sideways and we get repeated safety cars here tonight. But for Season 9 of the AOG Porsche Cup, the racing is underway as Algarve gives us the green lights, and it's a fan out at the front of the field. Lazarus and Dyson side by side to one, as well as Bates and Bowler in behind, 2 by 2 at the front. And it looks like it will be the outside that reigns supreme for now here at the very front. 3, if not 4 wide further on back through turns 1 and 2. But they give each other space. Oh, trouble in the background though. Way deep, I'm seeing the 53 machine highlighted out in the gravel. That's Hayden Veld in one of the ERT Porsches as Dyson sliding through turn 4 allows Lazarus to hang on for now. But look at them already trying to block and cover on the way down to turn 5.
This is the big choke point of the track here too. Heavy braking zone. You see their test going very, very deep, running very wide, but they've sorted themselves out pretty well. Jacob Lucas, they're 3 wide at the exit alongside that Thomas Hinz, Stuart Ellis. Tessa's lost out big time from that incident there, running wide. But at the front, it's still side by side. Oh no! Labs racing around.
No! Oh, well, that's going to go to race control. I'd be shocked if it didn't. Big dramas there for the 404 Blackout OPR driver. As a result, Dyson had the lead, but Tyson Broad, starting in 6th place, is going to be able to get to the lead halfway through lap number 1 after being able to just avoid a little bit of the chaos there at the very start as they try and get this first lap checked off. And now having to defend fiercely the 41 driver. As I've seen Nick Carroll towards the back of the field in another one of the OPR cars around. Ben Jeffrey in the 150 has just gone sliding across the circuit into turn 13. And he's thankfully not being collected by about 4 or 5 drivers, but it was a minor miracle that they were able to split around him and avoid the carnage. It's been a little crazy here right off the start of lap number 1. The field, though, mostly still packed together as a result. But it will be Broad, Dyson, Bowler, Shepherd, Capel, top 5, all in pro class. But then you've easily got Ryan Jones, Sam Sproul, and Ryan Battista to make it top 8, trying to break away from the rest of the field.
A little bit of a gap starting to form there too. But, oh, have a look at that there from Capel.
Oh, no.
That's way too deep. And great job from him to not make contact with anyone. He went way off the circuit there.
And a bit of a pinch into turn 3 between Capel, Jones, and Sproul. And Jones, a leading Pro-Am driver around, and now he's going to try and gather it up and get back in the queue without too much chaos. As I've got Capel on the radio apologising, and now, I'm still stuck on Jones. He's got Harrison Lewis to his inside, was trying to get past with momentum, and Joshua Van Treat trying to hang on around the outside there in the number 9 for Crispy Motorsport. They just get through, and that was close. As I've already heard, basically everything from lap 1's now starting to come through from race control, as well as Jones there at turn 3, as Lewis a little deep at turn 8. Does that enable Jones to get a run on the one to turn 9? But here, left-hand corner should give the advantage to the number 50. Yeah, he's clear, but the door's open, still in towards 10 and 11.
It's good racing in the back of the field here, but unfortunate for Ryan Jones. You feel for him because he was in 6th position. That contact there between he and Capel there will be no doubt looked at by race control, and I'm sure they will have a deeper look at what happened there. And Sam Sproul was the other car that was involved in that. At the front, they have settled down in a single file. This is the leading of the side-by-side, and Preston Lewis gets through and gets that position. Let's go back and look at what happened on lap 1, though. This is what happened right at the start. You can see the car there of Hayden Veld.
Oh, 4-wide crunch.
Boylet,
so
Carroll. There was a couple others involved in that too. So
yeah, didn't quite pick the 3rd car, but yeah, you said Boylet from Dynamic Sim Sport, Carroll from Blackout OPR, and then Veld, unfortunately, on the outside there for ERT. So also had Sam Sprouse on start of lap 3 here, had a bit of a pinch. She was being pursued by Robbie Gibbs. Actually, he's just fighting a bit too hot, trying to defend the spot from Gibbs by maintaining pace through turn 1. As a result, both Gibbs and Ellis have gotten through, and it was Daniel Benefield also making it 3 spots lost. The 606 at turn 1, unfortunately, there. That was a bit of bit of cars here. Turn 1 here, deceptive little corner in this, guys. I actually did some driving around at one point just to get a feel for where things are at. And the answer was, pretty tricky thing is up towards the lap. Another replay from Bolomir, and it's going to be lap 1 once again here. So turn 8, Lazarus to the inside, Dyson to the outside. Dyson's got overlap. The question is going to be, did he have enough? And from that angle there, a bit hard to say, but did he come away from the curb, or was that Lazarus trying to squeeze him out to the outside?
I'll have another quick look at it, because this angle here will probably show a little bit more.
This happened very early as well in the corner, barely past the apex even. So that's going to really make for a bit of a kerfuffle there.
Back up towards the front, Broad started to break away, and Bowler now applying big pressure to Andrew Dyson. I've just also seen race controllers deem that no further action. Probably the right call, considering the point of the corner that it happened with, and they both just sort of flowed into the same segment of the track, didn't they? It wasn't really anyone's fault that happened, I don't think.
not really, though, as Bowler to the inside through turns 2 and 3 on Dyson will take second place
Nice move.
away from the DPR Racing number 41. And now Kimboa set off after Tyson Broad. 3 laps in, and the gap is up to 1.8, so 1.5 seconds, apologies, as they now press on down towards turn 5. Because here's snake of drivers here tonight at this stage in the race. Pretty much all the way back to, I'd say, at a fringe, the 85 machine is probably the last one in the queue. Ryan Preston. So that's 21 cars effectively still running
in a line,
more or less nose to tail. Yeah, there's maybe a gaps it has opened between Robbie Gibbs in 7th, and the top 6 in front of him, starting with Ryan Battesse on up. But yeah, despite some of the craziness, good to see that we have ourselves a pretty steady lineup of cars still. As Jacob Lucas, they're getting past Thomas Hinz on our timing tower for 12th outright. In fact, we just see it there, bottom of the screen, I think. So Hinzy back to the inside through turn 12 there. Sorry, turn 11. So it was now got Simon Mazoma trying to get involved in the 954. And it's now going to get all kinds of congested up into turn 14. Second last corner on the circuit. On board with Mazoma now as they try and get some power down. And then bumps into the right rear of Hinzy, thankfully. Does gather it up and then settle in for this super long, super loaded roll right-hand turn and try and get the power down for the straight run to turn 1.
Great battle, and that was, of course, this grouping is the lead of Pro-Am as well. So lots of battling within this group, and Hinz now gets himself in between the leader and second place in that pack of cars for that class. So he'll be wanting to make sure that he doesn't lose too many positions, but in the same breath won't want to fight with their battle. Is up ahead here. This is Daniel Benefield, Stuart Ellis and Corey Lazarus. Lazarus on his recovery drive. It's one position he's gained back. Sam Sproul, that's a bit deep.
Just going to hang on to it there within track limits on the exit of Toro VIP there. So yeah, and still going now. Lazarus trying to eye up that position of benefits. Well, technically had it going into turn 8. He will lose it on the entry as we'll go on board with Lazarus's teammate Sam Sproul here in the 606s. Ellis even for a moment there contemplating 3 wide through the sweeper at turn 9. Does cross over to the outside of Benefield, but now we saw him hold on. We saw Hinzy, and his teammates Jacob Lewis behind duel and exchange spots like this. Wouldn't appear on this particular occasion. They'll single file out as Lazarus builds about a car length in the middle sector here. Critically at the front of the field, gap has closed substantially. Tyson Broad now only has 0.8 of a second, not even that. Back to Matt Bower. Don't know if that means that we missed a small mistake from the 27 machine, or whether this is the case. If we do have 2 long straights, the back half of the circuit from turn 8 to turn 10, there's probably a bit of draft that you can rely on there as well for good measure. As we also now see here, Ryan Jones trying to recover in the number 11 machine. Currently running 16th outright, which puts him 4th in the class. As our first couple of penalties starting to come through, and it is a 5-second time penalty for the 606 of Sam Sproul for making contact with Ryan Jones and Lachlan Cable back on lap number 2. The lap 1 incidents so far indeed have been issued as racing incidents, so no further action to come from them as stack up into turn 3. Jay as Jones gets in behind Stefan Lawrence.
Sproul's also succumbing to a bit of pressure as well, just ahead of those guys. So he's got Stuart Ellis up the inside. He's got Jacob Lucas trying to go around the outside. He's going to lose a spot. May lose 2.
Oh, no.
And in the background, that's Ryan Jones around again.
And yeah, Stefan Lawrence, he got involved with there. Let's have a look at it here. Another one of the ball replays. And so Lawrence round the outside into Toro VIP, and he's just pinched the right rear of Jones. I think that, unfortunately, is going to be a slam dunk on that one there.
Yeah, that's a unfortunate bit of contact there. And Ryan Jones will be wishing he never started as high up as he had, because he's had nothing but bad luck since he got into that high position in qualifying.
Yeah, what was the message Ryan gave us before? And there's been a moment for the 150 of Ben Jeffrey at turn 13. Bluebell Racing Team. He's just gone in a little too hot.
His car there too.
Yeah, he's had that since last. So actually, no, he's actually followed Matthew Boyle in a little bit deep. Almost got the rear bumper of the Dynamic Sim Sports car. Thankfully, contact avoided, and they carry on where they were positions-wise. Lazarus, new fastest lap of the race. Meanwhile, top 6 are really compressing. Pardon me, top 5. Bates is almost there, but about 1.5 back from Lachlan Capel. So Broad had the pace to break away a little bit, but it would appear that was maybe also gifted, not gifted per se, but necessarily it was helped by the fighting in behind him that he was able to capitalise on. So coming up towards the halfway mark of this race, given that we'll get that halfway around the 8th lap rather than this 7th lap, we'll see who can string the eggs again. We've got a wholesale second race after this one here to duke it out in. And we'll wait to see what they can do with this. So you go Ryan Jones now up to 19th, trying to drive back again, having just cleared Adam Jepson there, the second of the Bluebell Racing Team entries in front of him. Stefan Lawrence and Joshua Van Treek battling there. 17th on the road. Right, Sim Racing, Crispy Motorsport drivers, have seen them before. They've both been in Pro-Am before as well. And you can see here, Van Treek is all in the mirrors. Left side, right side, straight behind Jay. Still hasn't found a way through on this particular occasion just yet, though.
No, he hasn't been able to get through as Van Treek. Jones starting to close up very, very quickly. He's got good paces, Ryan Jones. He was joking with us yesterday when we were trying to find a couple of fill-in commentators because things changed, as we said. And he was joking, I can't wait to run with no pace and get taken out in 12 separate incidents. Well, he only got part of that little off-the-cuff comment right. As pit lane drive-through penalty just come through there for Stefan Lawrence. He's lucky he got it at the right time because he can come in and serve it straight away.
Yeah, that's unfortunately a pretty slam dunk for Stefan Lawrence there, trying to get the run.
He knew it was coming too, I think.
And yeah, as a result, will be sent to crawl down the lane. 80k an hour pit speed limit. Sorry, pardon me, 60k an hour pit speed limit here, even on this Grand Prix configuration of Algarve. So it's going to be rather brutal there for Lawrence. As issues in Sector 1 for Harry Lawrence, the number 10 machine.
He's had a shocker of a night.
And he's done it by himself as well. We might want to grab the replay as an example of, unfortunately, someone not getting it right at turn 1. If we wish to, but he hopped the apex curb up on the yellow anti-cut. So Bowler media replay coming out here once again, and you just watch him here, just in too soon, bang, up goes the right front and the right rear to boot, and as a result, that car was never going to make the turn neatly, and the little burnout there, trying to get it back the right way, will definitely not help matters either, but we best return to live pictures because it is really compressing now. Top 3 in particular, nose to tail as we're coming, already actually past the halfway point officially in this race. It's time for the second half to get underway.
Yep. Finished halfway through our 8th lap, which means we've got less than 8.5 to go. There'll be 8 left when they cross the line. Broad, Bowler, Dyson, Shepherd, and Capel all in this group, and not too far behind is Betters as well. So this group is very, very tight, very hotly contested, and any one of these guys will capitalise on a mistake. You don't want to be the one that makes the mistake one way or the other. You Bowler wide or make contact with the car in front. It's going to be very, very costly.
Yeah, we've already seen that for a couple of drivers tonight. In fact, speaking of which, I've actually seen Nick Carroll in the pit lane, and well, he's been in there actually for 1.5 minutes. So unfortunately for one of our blackout OPR drivers who was new this season, looks like they are not going to be making any further progress in race 1 at this time here as well. So we get to watch these guys here at the front if we can for a bit, see where drivers have got strengths and weaknesses around this Port Algarve circuit. The answer there, though, was brought in a little deep, I think, to turn 8, and it did stack everyone up. And saying that, stacking them up means they don't get a run here through 9 up towards 10 and 11. But you can see that already it's a fairly defensive entry, perhaps, but also part of the racing line here and the way that you have to really gently guide these kinds of cars up over that 10-11 double apex for the start of this third sector. it's also like it's half defensive, half not really. It's Broad in
that's a
deep,
big
slides
mistake.
the rear through the middle of the corner. Bowler to the outside for turn number 14 here, but this will mean he's in a bit of a rough spot. On board with Andrew Dyson, we will go here in the 41, and it's going to be a drag race round the ultra long right-hander. That is turn 15 here. This should give Broad the advantage because here goes Bowler, flinging it into the final turn. He's going to make it stick around the outside of the number 12.
Nice pass.
Gets to the race lead. Here comes Andrew Dyson, and watch out for Dylan Shepherd behind as well. 4 for the lead as we get lap number 10 underway.
This is
3
very...
wide almost.
Oh. Notice Capel backed off. He didn't want to get involved in it. He backed off, gave the guys some room to try and capitalise on a mistake if one of them happened. Broad's gone from first to fourth, a length of the straight.
Yeah, one bad run and then a side-by-side drag race. We'll see if he's got something left in the car and he hasn't overdone it there. So, yeah, brings Capel right to his rear wing, more or less. And, yeah, Ryan Betes keeps him in the equation as well. And I think he's definitely, if anyone's been playing Shadow, as you said, Capel definitely rolled it back into turn 1 on that occasion, deciding it end of lap 9, start of lap 10 with 8 to go. And they cross the line. Not the time to get involved. There's a little bit of a look there from Shepherd into turn 8 on Dyson. It just parks up the guys behind a tiny bit. You can see them all really throwing it out to the edge of the circuit here. Having a look at things. No one... Oh, sorry, pardon me. There's actually 2 drivers who are currently circulating who have no incident points to their name, and one of them is Tyson Broad here, so he's kept it very neat and tidy. Of course, with the drivers fighting as they are, Shepherd to the inside of Dyson at turn 13. Gets alongside, but he doesn't get the drive, having to pull it up on the apex, and now that's going to give Bowler perhaps a chance to run away a little bit here. As then Dyson's in hot to 14. The door opens for Tyson Broad on the inside, but he slides a little bit on the rears. Dyson's going to have a little bit of overlap on the run to turn 15 around the outside. We've seen it work as Dyson pinches the 27 to the apex of the last corner.
No.
Around goes Broad as he tries to get the power down on exit.
Wow, you could sort of feel that was coming. Just almost happened in slow motion. Broad, what an unfortunate lap and a half it's been for him. And it's still 3 wide now for second because Bowler has checked out at the front of the group. Vitesse is there watching what's going on as well. He's trying to take advantage of this.
For a second there, I thought I was watching Bowler had been caught up, but of course not, because the fight was with Broad and Dyson, and when they stack up and have their moment, of course, that's going to give opportunity to him to run away. So this is the race for second. It was the race for first. And it's nearly 3 seconds within a lap as Dyson lunging up the inside. And Betes around the outside, 4 wide. As they try to get through the corner, it's going to be Shepherd who gets underneath Capel through the middle of Toro VIP. Have these boys heard the fact that this is still the first race of the season? We've got another 7 rounds, at least 2 races for every round. But if this is what we can expect, at least when it comes to the highlights for the season, well, I think we've just booked ourselves in for a very interesting season to come here, with faces new and old playing up front. And all this is bringing drivers like Corey Lazarus, after a rough opening lap or 2, back into the game. And he's actually dragging Robbie Gibbs a little bit along in the background there as well. And the thing is that this is just one of the battle packs. It looks like there's a massive train queuing up behind Daniel Benefield in 8th place, stretching all the way back to the 067 of Jacob Lucas in 16th, that we also might want to try and have a quick look at too.
Yeah, Tyson Broad's found himself right in the middle of that pack as well. He'll be struggling with overheated tyres for a little bit as well, so he'll be trying to get his composure back. The only driver really that's not in a group now is Matthew Bowler right at the front. He's broken 3.5 seconds just from that fighting that group behind has started to do.
So the question is, 6 laps to go. Are they going to agree to settle down? The thing is, you've got Dyson from DPR, you've got Shepherd and Betes from Blackout. OPR is Capel, the second of the ERT cars in the top 6. Runs in a little hot towards turn number 1, and the door was open for a moment for Betes. Let's now make it 3 Blackout OPR drivers in the top 6 in the lead pack, as well as I've just seen Samuel Sproul, unforced error into turn 3, has run the 606 in very hot. 3 place. Simon Zomo says, yeah, I'll have that. That makes me the Pro-Am race leader by a couple more positions, as well as now Shepherd to the inside of Dyson off of turn 5 as they make the run up through this middle sector. And Dyson's still there, though, as Lazarus is through on Betes behind, as They can make it through side by side. The question is, how much space are they willing to give each other? The answer has been so far tonight, not a lot. And as a result, Shepard opts to roll out of that one there. He'll line up for another attack later on, it seems.
Yep, later on is the next corner by the looks of it. Shepard having another lunge up the inside there on Dyson. Dyson able to maintain the momentum. And here comes Capel now looking to take advantage. This has been a fantastic battle. What a race this has been so far. Oh, no contact. Around goes Dyson. Corey Lazarus is now back into third position.
But the gap extends at the front as a result. 4.5 seconds after Matthew Bowler. This is quite literally basically about as perfect as he could ask for. As they've kept on fighting, they've just continued stripping each other up one by one now. And as you said, Capel now inherits second place. Lazarus is there in... Actually, but Lazarus... Yeah, Lazarus is now there in second. Oh, sorry, he's in third, my apologies. Capel in front. As Capel's hit the apex at turn 1. Hopping the curb, and it checks them up in this group here. So Robbie Gibbs is now going to join the fray proper in the number 2 machine. So we've now got... This is a pure... Well, it's ERT sandwiching blackout OPR, triple stack filling on this 5-car battle. As we go to another one of the Bowler Media Raceways and have a look at this from top down. Dyson on Shepard there at turn 13. The 43 is Shepard trying to go around the outside, but by the book, that's not enough overlap. We'll have to see if there was anything else involved in that one there.
Post-race investigation. Yeah, good work on trying to say that. Between Tyson Broad and Andrew Dyson. So a little bit more that's involved in that one from what we just saw live. So interesting there. So when we first looked at it, we thought it might have been a slam dunk penalty, but obviously there's a little bit more to it that we didn't see or didn't notice live. Robbie Gibbs is right in this battle now too. He's licking his lips. He could steal a second position out of this.
I mean, yeah, he certainly could, as Lazarus's turn to go on the offensive at 13. Forces Capel to leave a car's width at his left rear tyre, but it doesn't get a position just yet. Is in behind. It looks like a bit of exchanging of positions amongst the OPR drivers. Dylan Shepard up the inside of Ryan Bettes to try and lead the charge, or at least join the lead for the charge here as they come round the final turn. Once again, it's 4 laps to go at the front for Matthew Bowl as he crosses the line there. And his gap is still 4.9 seconds, nearly 5, as Capel will now defend to the pit wall on the run down the front straightaway here. Lazarus, though, the slipstream is effective. He's getting ahead under brakes, and he clears him before he turns in for turn number 1. Excellent precision and poise there from the 404 Blackout OPR machine. And now Capel, what can he do with Dylan Shepard directly in behind him? Robbie Gibbs yet to make his way up into this pack to really mix things up, as Lazarus there really pushing the exit of turn number 4, sorry. But he doesn't get any issues with that one there, and the door's open for Shepard into 5. Capel cross him over on the exit. He'll try.
No further action for the incident between Shepard and Dyson.
Oh, that's going to be interesting now. Well, the decision can be protested after the race as well. There is procedures regarding that, so be curious to see if that comes through, because yeah, that seemed like seems slam dunk from the angle we looked at, but as you said, yeah, usually I'm the one looking at all the angles here. Is Capel still around the outside of Shepard here into turn 11, but as a result, yeah, Shepard will get the drive off on that inside line, and they'll go single file with Bettes looking for the crossover. Gets loose, and then Shepard covers the inside. Capel loose to the rear through 13. They all stack up because no one's willing to give an inch. And as a result, someone gets a couple of car lengths in the process for good measure.
Yep, Lazarus checked it out now from those guys, and the draft will bring them back together. Interesting to note as well, we've got 3 laps to go when Bowler crosses the line. 17 incident points a couple of drivers are on, so you've got to be careful. There is a 20 incident point limit where you get a drive-through penalty. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the race if we see a few drivers serving a drive-through for incident points.
Oh, Bettes to the inside of Capel. Gibbs is on the outside of Capel as well. Oh, Bettes grabs the apex curb, fires it well into the runoff. Capel back through Gibbs because he's on the outside of his teammate. Gets stuck and can't make anything of it. So the number 2 machine still stuck in P6, and it's enabling Andrew Dyson to slowly rejoin the battle, and he's bringing Dan Benefield and Stuart Ellis a little bit with him too. Someone's slow. Was it slow, or was that just a case of...
Jacob Lucas was very slow there. I think he got a slow down and had to serve it before he was too late.
Yeah, because with every corner, you don't serve a slow down if you're remotely near racing speeds. You'll have troubles as Boylet in the 069. That's definitely looking a little worse for wear. I'll have a quick look and see if I can find out where that came from, because it's unfortunately been a bit of a nightmare race to start this, and it's a solo error coming through the exit of turn 1. Oh, man. Well, we've seen the anti-cut curve in action at turn 1. Trouble for Hayden Veld running off at turn 5 as well, further on back in the pack. Unforced error there, but for Matthew Boylet, summary of his moment, he got the anti-cut because he was sliding on the exit of 1. He hit the anti-cut of the exit on the apex of turn 2 and launched the car into a flat spin across the runoff towards turn 3.
Big battle pack starting to form behind Simon Mazzoma as well. Sproul and... Benefield and Ellis also changing position. Sam Sproul did run very, very wide there as well. There's lots going on in this race. It's very, very hard to keep on top of everything because there is so much action.
Yeah, you can say that again. These guys here leaving nothing on the cards.
Matthew Boylet, pit lane drive-through penalty incident limit.
And unfortunately there, I did see Boylet was getting awfully close. And he's had a moment again as well. That's Dyson through on Gibbs. How has Robbie Gibbs dropped off the back of our top 6 here? Because there was about a second back to the 41. He's had a shocker somewhere in the final sector or so. Oh, he ran wide at turn 14. So he lost a couple of Carlings, and then he just runs it in deep. And as a result, 3 position for the 41 down the start, finish straight. But Gibbs close, doesn't go for it this time into turn 5. He will wait and play the patient game, it seems.
Gibbs has not had as good a race as he would have hoped. Very, very strong last season, but hasn't had the best run tonight. But best race of the season. A lot of people just finding their feet, aren't they? There's a lot of drivers just trying to work out where they sort of sit in the scheme of things, who they can battle with, who they should be battling harder with than others. And safe to say that there's going to be a little bit of action post-race. There's going to be a lot of discussion going on after this one, you feel?
Oh, Benefield has a solo moment into turn 13. He runs off the road. He's going to enable Ellis, Hins, and his own teammate maybe. No, I think Mazzoma there actually will back it off and allow the 34 through to
remember
not
that's
have
top
a repeat.
10th position now is Benefield as well.
That's true indeed. So he will still gain well from this as the final lap has begun. Out in front, it is still 4 set. Well, actually, you can say it. Lazarus is on a charge. He's pulled 1.5 seconds back of Bowler's lead. Or whether that's a case of also maybe someone like Bowler knowing he doesn't need to overdrive it, he can afford to let Lazarus close up here in the end stages. So these guys were fighting for 9th. Now they're fighting for 8th. Stuart Ellis and Thomas Hins as they round turn 1 for the final time in this opening race. Again, yeah, limits being pushed. These cars here so twitchy as Ellis. A little deep and yeah, very slow as a result through the exit of turn number 3. Hinsey ranging up in the 52 machine for Team Jing Shifters. Can he find a way to the inside for turn number 5? On board now with Mr. Hins, your Fixed Indy Australia Season 2 champion as well. Our last championship league run here for AOG on Tuesday nights. And looking to see how that converts here into the flat 6 as the answer so far is. Top 10 performance looking all right here. Can he find one more spot on the end of race number 1?
Hoping he can get one more. Of course, he stays where he is. He'll start on the front row for race number 2. There are drivers on 19 incidents as well as Aiden Kale. Oh. Lots of drivers just having really strange, unfortunate solo incidents as well.
I think it says a lot to how much load they're putting through these cars. Speaking of drivers, though, who have been able to come out unscathed and critically capitalise when it matters, it's going to be Matthew Bowler, the number 12 ERT machine. At one point, he was kind of hoping he'd be a championship contender back in the season 6 days, but Bo Albert had too much pace for him then. But today, for the opening race of season number 9, it is his prize that he will take at the front of the field. The Blackout OPR / Sonic Motor Racing pair of Corey Lazarus and Dylan Shepherd rounding out the podium is Stuart Ellis by a hair. Will hold off Thomas Hinz, 0.035 across the line there for 8th place. And as you mentioned critically, Daniel Benefield holding on to an outright top 10, which will put him on the race to pole position once we get to that session.
What a race that was. And remember, this is the first of 2 for the night. Bowler, too strong in the end. Almost 3.5 second win in the end over Corey Lazarus and his teammate there in Lachlan Capel up alongside. He'd be very, very happy. And in comes Robbie Gibbs as well. ERT finishing 1:47 and 22 in that race.
Fortunately for Hayden Veld, definitely a rough night for him in the first race. He'll have to try and turn it around from there. So with almost all of our drivers across the line, this effectively is our race results. At least it's good enough for the drivers at the front of the field. So Boa ends up your race winner 3.2 seconds in the end. So Lazarus kept his foot down to the line, but indeed, unfortunately, the deficit was too much there as a result of the breakaway and timing that Bowler got. Shepherd comes home in 3rd place, not too far behind Lazarus there, with Lachlan Capel going to round out 4th with Ryan Betes. So 2 for ERT, 3 for Blackout OPR to round out your top 5 in this opening race of the night and the season. Andrew Dyson, after being on the front row, unfortunately, dramas there for him in the race. Will end up in P6. Robbie Gibbs brings it up to 7th in ERT. Stuart Ellis, the first of Dynamic Sim Sport cars there in 8th place. Thomas Hinz for Team Jinx Shifters in 9th and first in the 9.5 Sim Sport cars. And your race 2 pole sitter, Daniel Benefield, to round out our top 10 here at the front.
From there, they will finish, start the next race exactly where they finish. So it'll be Mizomo from 11th, but wins the Pro-Am class. A little bit of a gap back to the next driver in that class as well. Harrison Lillis, Tyson Broad, and Sam Sproul all in the Pro class, finished 12th, 13th, and 14th. And then Jacob Lucas and Ryan Jones round out the podium in Pro-Am. Aidan Cale, Joshua Van Treek, Ben Jeffrey, and Adam Japson round out the top 20.
And our last couple of drivers there at the, unfortunately, was back of the field. Ryan Preston in the 85 machine, home in 21st, just ahead of Hayden Veld there. Just said rough night for the 53 to start things off there for him. Dean Jacobson in the number 62 for B Electrical Racing Oz there, ahead of Brody Shepherd for Vermilion Motorsports in 24th. Harry Lawrence back in 25th, because a couple of dramas for him tonight with Dan Mirko, Stefan Lawrence, Greg Patrick, Alan Dawson, and PJ Whiteman rounding out the top 30. And our 2 drivers who I believe chose not to finish the race in Matthew Boylett, actually classified 2 laps down in the end, and Nick Carroll retiring 10 laps shy of the finish. As well, they're already halfway through the warm-up. I actually trimmed the warm-ups down a little bit this year. We might want to take a tiny breather for ourselves here, Jay, in the SimSpeed TV broadcast booth, because, with the top 10 invert, I wouldn't be surprised if this second race delivers just about all of what we saw in that first race, and a little bit more to boot here as well. Stay with us for the opening round of Season 9 of the AOG Porsche Cup from the Algarve circuit.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
What about grid?
We're back for round 1 of the AOG Porsche Cup. And it is going to be a very, very action-packed race number 2 coming up. Jay Kennedy and Dan Yeaman in the booth for this one. And Dan, when you've
How long
gone
do we
out
want
there,
for the grid, first of all?
yeah, 2 minutes if we can. You've played Weather God, and we've got a big surprise with the weather out there. We've got beautiful sunny B-roll, but she's not sunny out there for the next race. Of course, race 2 running the next day. So imagine a race weekend, qualifying Saturday early afternoon, race 1 into the evening, race 2 on the Sunday. She has turned into an extremely foggy race.
Yeah, that it has. I did have to say I didn't expect this from the weather configuration. It didn't tell me we were going to hit this large cloud cover. But what's happened here, the humidity is cranked all the way to 100%. And as a result, we have ourselves, a little bit of fog that's rolled in here on this virtual Sunday morning as well. Yeah, so here's one of the things I do like doing. Yeah, the idea of setting it up so it functions like a racing weekend, as you say. It just means that we occasionally have moments like this where the weather does something quite a bit different. There was the one time where I somehow got a sub 18-degree air temperature or track temperature. That never warmed up in Indianapolis. That was quite the experience, unfortunately. Well,
what you're saying is you full-on broke things.
I full-on broke things within the parameters iRacing provides. Yes.
Yes. That's what I did mean by that.
That is my excuse. Is that everything I did, iRacing allowed me to do. So yeah, as you said, there at the end of race 1, flipping the top 10 around. So Daniel Benefield there on the right-hand side of the screen, you're in your pole position for this race with Thomas Hinz on the front row, Stuart Ellis, Robbie Gibbs row 2, Dyson Bettes row 3, Capel Shepherd row 4, and Corey Lazarus and Matthew Bower to round out your top 10. From there on, it is as they were down the order. So that's to keep in mind. Hopefully, we'll see at least 31 starters. Yep, do see 31 drivers on the grid. Time is about to expire here for the countdown, and we will do 17 laps of racing all over again here from the Algarve International Circuit. So get ready to see who can take it out. We'll hopefully chat to our round winners at the end of it all as the revs rise here once again, and they'll drop the hammer on the starting formation as we see the fan out further on back. Front of the field a little bit more orderly as they're all pretty much line astern. But it's 3 wide in turn 1 as they absolutely swamp Ellis there. Dyson round the outside of Hinz as well. He's going to go from 4th to 2nd. You also got one of our OPR cars Bettes trying to get the outside of Hinz through turn 3. Can't get there though on the exit, and Ellis trying to hold some position, but he's just being freight trained left, right and centre up through the opening sector.
There was almost contact there with Robbie Gibbs as he ran alongside there with, is that Lazarus as well?
Inside. 3 wide crossover from Ellis from turns 4 to 5. Gets back both of the spots he lost, and then a little bit of contact between Gibbs and Lazarus on the exit. Runs the 2 of them off a little wide. I actually got Dylan Shepherd bumper damage. Matthew Boyle, it's around towards the...
Oh, no!
Greg Patrick. Oh, big trouble. Gibbs, Capel, and Lazarus. Turn 7. And they're going to watch for the rejoin here as you've got guys like Van Treek and others who are minding their business further on back here. Lap 1. Chaos delivering once again.
And while that was going on as well, have a look at what happened at the front of the field. We missed this. Andrew Dyson with the big dive down the inside and takes the lead away from Dan Benefield.
Oh, as you mind. Right, okay. There's someone around further on at turn 11,
Ben
150, Ben Jeffrey. And there's someone up at the front of the field. Benefield's gone around at turn 13. And Bettes as well. Or was it?
It was Bettes and Benefield. Both of those two around.
Oh. Madness on lap number 1. Once again.
Mazzomo and Sproul now battling for position number 8, and Mazzomo's just tucked back in behind. So Capel, Lazarus are out of position, as well as Bettes and Benefield. So watch those guys come through the field as Lazarus having a look there. Sorry, that's Lucas and Jones side by side. Ryan Jones back up into second in class now.
Yeah, let's see if he can hunt down Simon Mazzomo and recover from a race 1 that went astray from incidents that he wasn't deemed at fault for. As we'll go to the replay. So, oh no! A cannon bomb mistake. Trying to get past Thomas Hinz and locks it up so bad he fires past into Daniel Benefield. It's back to live pitches. Greg Patrick in the meantime had an issue at turn 1. on this second lap, and he was racing with a couple of guys further on back in the field. Turning up the inside of Ben Jeffrey. Oh, he's made contact with Ben Jeffrey, but yeah, up at the front of the field, still watching all of the action here. Try and watch this, well, I'd say settle in for a rhythm, but no, that's certainly not happening. He's got Lazarus Cable side by side through turn 7. They get through there just with the ERT car on the outside. I think a bit of a pinch and a rub, unsettling the 404 there, perhaps by the looks of things, but they all get through unscathed for now.
Got your breath back? There's been a lot going on in one lap.
We're going to lose the breath.
Oh, 100%.
That's a guarantee here. Is yeah, lap 2 of 17 to make it this double 17 lap format. As eyes on the 062 there, Alan Dawson for a moment. He's following around Matthew Boylett, who, yeah, driver who's definitely been in the dumps, it seems, is PJ Whiteman there on screen. Has had a moment on the exit of turn 11 by the looks of things, and I think solo based on where he is on track. But at the front of the field, it's 1.5 seconds for Andrew Dyson over Thomas Hinz, as Dyson showing us that pace from race 1 converting in race 2, and it actually will be the fastest lap for a moment, but then Dylan Shepherd will claim that away from P4 on the road as we watch the field streak on by down this start finish straight. Drivers here like Capel, Lazarus down outside the top 10 still after the chaos of lap 1. Look at them there, and then way out wide, the 067 of Jacob Lucas is going to lose a ton of spots trying to find a safe spot to rejoin into turn 3. As you said, contact there further up the field, and it's lap 3, boys. I know we're into race 2. Speaking more contact, Adam Jepton's around at turn 3 in the 525 Bluebell Racing machine, and then trying to get it gathered up right in front of Stefan Long. 10, Harry Lawrence, big trouble for him on the run out of turn 4 with Ryan Preston stuck middle of the road as well.
Preston's car was in a really precarious spot there. He was on the racing line. He did get away. Wow. Okay. We're good. We're still green. We're still going.
Everyone's still moving. No retirements yet from this race, as already from race number 2, apparently, we have a decision that contact between Gibbs and Lazarus going to be deemed a racing incident there. Robbie Gibbs being out in P20, that's probably not the news he wants to hear. So there's a Harry Lawrence spinning solo on the exit at turn 4 as the car, and Preston doing the same, I think, there.
Yep.
Just out shot for a second, and then, as you said, Preston, thankfully, he's just enough off the racing line enough that it's not a major hazard. The drivers should be able to drive past him, and also credit to Preston there, was aware of his position and didn't gun it, trying to get back onto the track and have a bad moment for him become a bad moment with someone else involved as well. As we're back live and watching the racing here, there's plenty of it, and one of the ones to watch out now for is this Pro-Am class lead. 9th outright for Simon Zomo, but Ryan Jones, as they start this 4th lap of this second race, is right in behind him and putting pressure on. Little mistake unforced from Mazzomo through turn 1. Is it open for Jones? He's not quite close enough. He doesn't choose to go for it on this particular occasion.
Just looking at the incident limit as well, we talked about it in that last race, and we did see 1 pit lane drive-through penalty. Remember I said the incident limit, well, you do know what the incident limit is, being 20. We've got drivers already in the teens. We're on lap 4. We've only done 3 laps and they're already in the teens. They really have to be gentle. So easy to get an off-track incident at the exit of that corner there and through turns 1 and 2.
I think, yeah, unfortunately, this track is, I guess, one of those ones where, because it's flat runoff, yeah, you
You'd suck it in.
You get sucked in, yeah. You get sucked into pushing the limits too much. And, I mean, yeah, incident system, like, yeah, it's there to be a bit of a buffer against drivers being overly egregious or abusing the limits too much. And as a result, drivers who unfortunately get and also the way contact happens, 1 or 2 hits like that there.
Like that.
Hayden Vell with Ryan Bettis to his inside. That could easily stack up points for the both of them. And I think Ryan Veld, yep, oh no! Van Treek, Veld, and who got into him there as well?
I'm confused by how that happened.
I looked away. Oh, so Veld off the road, trying to rejoin. It's a rejoin gone horribly wrong for Hayden Veld as he tried to recover from the tap. So watch this here on the Bowl Media replay. Ryan Bettis on the inside gets pinched a bit there by Hayden Veld. I think that'll come down as a racing incident. Then you see here, kept in out on the rejoin, and as a result, Oh, Joshua Van Treek there in the Christie Motorsport number 9, and it's Jacob Lucas in the 067 machine. They've crashed into him as a result. Ryan Preston's come unstuck at turn 14, down towards the back of the field. It's been a nightmare moment for him as Hayden Vell, they're limping it back to the pits, and I've just seen Ryan Preston tow without permission, so I'll make sure to let the race control team note that as watching here the racing back up towards the front of the field. It's still on. In fact, I was saying that he's now they've caught up to Jones and Mazzone, so this is the battle for ninth. So you got Jones. Actually, they're catching Sam Sproul as well in all this too, who hasn't been able to go with the top 7.
Yeah, Sproul hasn't quite had the pace as those guys in that top 7, and Jones also went through on time in Mizomo while we were watching that those replays, and you can see the most surprising, I'm saying that sarcastically, pit lane drive-through penalty we'll see from a lap 1 incident. Bottas will have to serve a drive-through with that huge brake lock-up that made contact with Daniel Benefield. And also, in not surprising news, Hayden Veld had a mechanical black flag for that damage that he had on his car.
And that might not be the end of his woes. Speaking of woes, Ryan Jones has gone around on the exit of turn 14.
Oh, no.
And not really, was fighting. Was in a position to contest the class. In fact, he actually cleared Mazomo. He cleared him, and he's just dropped it on the exit of 14 by himself in the middle of the road. Disaster for the DPR driver. Race 1 didn't go his way, and it was from external factors, and that one there, unfortunately, going to have to put that one on the books for himself.
Yep.
Well, back to light pitches we will go here, and back up towards the guys at the front. Although Andrew Dyson, gap has increased to 2.5 seconds whilst we've been watching all the action elsewhere in the field.
On the first lap in the 45s all night, so his pace is improving as the night goes on.
Rubber going down on the track. Temperatures in this session, thanks to it being a Sunday morning, 20 degrees air, 22 degrees track. Coming in a good 6 or 7 degrees from race 1 weather, and that was a good 20 odd degrees down on qualifying weather as well. So no shockers there, as the next penalty coming through from this race is going to be to Matthew Boylett. Unfortunately, he's been deemed at fault for making contact with Adam Jepson on lap 3. So that will see him have 10 seconds added to his race time at the end of it all. There we go, on board with Dylan Shepherd, 4th place. Stuart Ellis doing a good job here. Likewise for Thomas Hinds. Both of these drivers were a little bit further down the order in race 1, but they're still holding their spots towards the front of the top 10. The question is going to be, there is a queue stacking up behind them through to Harrison Lewis in 7th. What can those guys behind do? Are they going to be able to do anything here? As on board with Shepherd, watch the top speed here. Let's have a look to see what he gets. 265 is going to be achievable. 270 on the cards. It is in a turn 1. That's how long of a straight it is, and the draft of 2 Cup cars in front of him as well. And also things like maybe he's chosen to trim all the wing off this car to help with rotation, but it makes it a little vulnerable in some of the higher speed turns. He's hounded by Matthew Bowler there in the number 12 machine through turn number 4. No dice though on their run out of the turn.
Bowler's gained 5 positions, I should say. Was winner of race 1, so this is a great result to back up in race 2. And my thinking around round points, that would put Matt Bowler as a round winner if he stays in this spot.
You know what? I'll actually go grab the rulebook up. For this race format, 150 points within the round for a race win. And currently sitting in position number 4. P5, my apologies. Currently sitting 5th, puts him on 111 points for race 2 towards his round score. So
Andrew Dyson's exactly the same points.
Dyson will be
the
one
same.
spot behind.
5th and 1st.
I'm saying 6th and 1st.
Oh yes, correct. 6th and 1st because he started in.
Yeah, don't forget the grid of it.
Never mind.
We'll talk about that later because Bowler's crossed over Ellis and Shepherd, who then rubbed doors on the run out of turn 14. yeah, championship can wait a little bit here as now Bowler's got the hustle on. Shepard's got him on the outside and he almost didn't have space, but he is made to open the door. The blackout OPR cars, they've got something in a straight line. There's also a bit of drafting on the front and side drafting too. There's oh no. Shepard and Bowler both running off the turn one. Oh, Ellison in a moment, and Lillison brought the drop there. Porsches will split the 066 there as also coming in from race control. Also another one that unfortunately not too much of a surprise, but an unsafe rejoin. It was deemed by Hayden Veld, and as a result, it's a drive-through penalty for slamming into Joshua Van Schreek back on lap number 4.
And just seen as well, there's a mechanical black flag being issued by iRacing to this car on screen. Brody Shepard, he's already come in to serve it right now, but it's from the contact right there with the 150 of Ben Jeffries. So Ben Jeffries just made contact with him. Didn't do anything wrong. He's just wrong place, wrong time, and unfortunate there with Shepard that he just got hit in the exact wrong spot.
Yeah, that's actually pretty rough to say the least there for both those guys. Obviously, yeah, Shepard just having a small moment of his own, and Jeffrey the first car on the scene in the wrong place at that particular moment there. So back to light pictures will go. So it's still the top 7 in behind, well, 6 second through 7th, I should say, in behind Thomas Hinds, because the gap is growing. Can Matt Bowler, he's up to 3rd now in all of the kerfuffle. He's actually got past Shepard on this lap, so there's Lazarus drops down behind Capel further on back as well. So number 8 and 4 of 4, they've cleared Simon Mazomo. They're now
I can tell you why. Lachlan Capel has a drive-through penalty for hitting the incident limit.
Oh, dearie me. Drivers pushing this. Will he service straight? Yeah, he'll peel straight in and make his call, peel straight in. And send himself tumbling down the order.
He won't be the last one either.
No.
There's drivers on 16, 15, 19. There's a few drivers on the limit. There's 2 drivers still that are on 0 incidents, though.
And a credit to them, it seems, for not pushing the limits too early, as we're barely into the second half of this final race of the opening round. The Season 9 of the AOG Porsche Cup, supported by Simsbury TV here, of course, and Bowler Media for post-race photography as well. That'll be all part of the play. I should also, I guess, maybe do a free promotional, which is there you go, Capel out in 23rd place. In saying that, sponsors are welcome. One of the things that we're hoping to do at the end of the season, funding permitting, will be to have some trophies for the, well, in an ideal world, the podium position drivers for every class. Plus, teams champion is done on outright positions, given that doing a teams classing is quite complicated, to say the least, with everyone running around basically by themselves. Yeah, that's the one thing we'll be hoping to do for the guys here at the end of this season. As we go on board with Harrison Lewis here. A little bit of oversteer out of turn 13 as he tries to wind on the power. And in behind Tyson Brook, can the 2 teammates work together to ease up through this pack, as they've got 8 laps to go when they get to the line here?
I think the thing with this track is the draft is so strong that if you're at the back of the group, sure, you're going to get real momentum by the time you get to turn 1, but so's everyone else, so you can't really use it when you're at the back of the group. Let's see what his top speed is. 271 we saw when we were on board with Dylan Shepard earlier. Is 272. Very, very similar top speeds. And you notice as well that they've caught back up to Thomas Hinds. Hinds' pace has dropped off a little bit over the last couple of laps. Last lap by Bowler was the fastest driver on track, back into the 1 minute 45s, and Thomas Hinds did a 1:46.5. So lost around about 0.6 of a second did Hinds on that last lap. Gap was around about 1.5 seconds, but that's all gone.
Yeah, and the main thing will be for Bowler, can he get through on Hinds here without too much fuss, as Aidan Cale drops behind Ryan Jones on the timing tower. I'm also seeing on my screens, down in the 20s, Dan Mirko's locked up and run wide at turn 3 and enabled a couple of cars to get through on him there, including the attempting to recover Lachlan Capel there. So yeah, we've got Harry Lawrence there, pro, then an AM, I think that would be Adam Jepson there, Towering Tower confirms, then Capel, then Dan Mirko. Pro AM, then pro and AM. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a
Surprised with Harry Lawrence tonight. I thought he would have been a lot further up, but he just hasn't seemed to gel with this track at all.
I mean, it's clearly a tough track. The technicality and maybe not so technicality per se, but it's a high-load circuit. And these cars, obviously, limited downforce, really reliant on mechanical grip, or in this case, tell me that, look, let's see if a ball actually trying to really set it up and lean on the car in the process and then fire out. And saying that, on that particular time through the final turn, maybe Clean Air helping Thomas Hinds. He actually pulls the margin by being a little bit wider and a little bit more confident on the throttle. So for Bowler, he doesn't get through. When I was thinking it might be a bit of a slam dunk, set it up and set it up the inside, and a job done for the number 12 machine. And maybe he can then chase down Andrew Dyson. But for now, he will have to stay in behind. He's got Shepherd as well there, of course, to be mindful of in the blackout OPR number 43. Little wiggle from Shepherd there off the turn 4. Here you go, Hinsey. Here you go, commits to the defense. All right, the cards are played to turn 5. Bowler goes for the outside. Can he cross him up? Shepherd nearly gets him in the back bumper there as we're on board looking forwards from the number 12. He can't get around the outside. It's covered off by Hinsey. Good drive on the inside through the apex there. So that's just, again, a couple of tenths in the way of Andrew Dyson. Bowler's got speed here, Jay, but he just doesn't seem to have speed in the right places. As Ben Jeffries in a moment on the exit of turn 4 in the 150 machine. He's found the fence a couple of times front and rear.
It's a great fight, though. It's sure, we love the tiny little bits of contact, but there's been fair contact, I would say. Just noticed, too, I'm a little surprised we're going to have to try and work out why Ben Jeffries just dropped a whole heap of positions. Actually, we're going to have to go back.
Trouble.
Yeah,
Ryan Jones has got trouble on the exit of turn
he's gone
7.
Lomo.
So Jeffrey's moment was on the exit of turn 4, I think solo for the 150 machine. As Shepard's just died on the inside. Oh, Shepherd nearly got up the inside of Hinds. Bowler's gotten through for second in the meantime. Does this finally pop the cork on the bottle here? That was the battle for second. And in fact, look at that there. Hinsey. Now, whether he has enough of a run here, actually, no, he does have a good, nice run there. Oh, and for good measure, Andrew Dyson and Clean Air will go and set new fastest lap of the race. And saying out drivers here, they might be setting fastest laps, but they might also be throwing track limits to the wind. Actually, there you go. Lazarus, new fastest lap of the race, 2 tenths quicker than Dyson on that occasion. The $1 million question going to be, now with Clean Air, can Matthew Bowler, he's only got 6 laps, reel in the margin. So it's going to look here at Ben Jeffrey first of all. So comes in at turn 4. Stefan Lawrence, I think, in behind, but he's just going to do it by himself. Yeah, just another driver, unfortunately, on the throttle up the hill through turn 4, and the rear just gets light. As
it's cost him the lead in that class as well. He was up a few positions on everyone else in that class, so that's unfortunate for him. He was going to have a big haul of championship points ahead of the guys he's going to be battling for that championship.
That's a right shame there, indeed. As watching here back live, this fight for second, although it might be the fight for third if Bowler can skip away. Oh, Matthew Boyce has gone flying across the infield at turns 4 and 5. In fact, he's actually just... Yeah, that... I'm actually struggling to understand how that's happened. He's also... Is there another car involved, or is it's just Boiler? But how is he...
I can tell you how it started. I think there could be a bit of frustration here, or he's had some sort of tech issue. So this is turn 3. So he's had a stuck throttle, I think.
Moment for Capel as well. Into turn 7 as well. For goodness sake. Up the inside of Stefan Lawrence. Oh, Lawrence is a wiggle. You then got Alan Dawson in behind, so right sim racing teammates there. But he's been tagged. He's been tagged by Dawson, and then the car. He can't stop because the car's dropping down the decline, and he finds the gap in the fence. And he's still in the fence. I think, yeah, he hasn't actually. He's still there. Race control are going to need to have a look at that one there.
That was a strange incident the whole way through there, wasn't it? It was just a real bizarre one. Broad now has got ahead of Shepherd, and Shepherd now throws it back up the inside. Nice move. He's going to get that done. Blocks off the exit of the corner, and Tyson Broad will have to give up the spot. So Broad now back into 5th position. Dylan Shepherd up into 4th once again. What that does gives Thomas Hinds a little bit of a breather His pace has definitely dropped off from everyone else. Last lap by, Bowler 1.2 seconds quicker. He's checked out at the front of this group now.
He's now definitely a fight for third, but the answer looks to be that the gap's steady at the front. So unless Dyson throws a couple of unforced errors the way of Matthew Bowler to close down the margin, or there's a miracle turn of pace coming from the number 12 machine, I think second will be the best he can ask for in this race. There's looking a little further back here. We've got a battle for 27th on the road. This would also, I believe, let's see if I can figure this one out, because unfortunately I don't have the classes up for me, which is probably a bit of a mistake there. Let's see, Jepson's leading AM class. So 5th and 6th in the AM class.
Yep.
And that adds up. It is unfortunately our final two drivers running in the race as well.
They've changed positions about 3 or 4 times in the last 2 laps. So I thought it was pretty good that we should check in on the battle, because doesn't matter
100%.
what pace you've got someone to battle. It's always cool.
As Patrick up the inside of Whiteman, take that spot away. Harry Lawrence, another moment up at turn 13 for him there on that occasion. Really seems like a case of, can't catch a break, even if it is mostly of his own making tonight. Yeah, it's been tough.
Stefan Lawrence has just received a black flag for hitting the incident limit. So that's our 3rd driver hit the incident limit in this race.
Unfortunately, another victim claimed. There's at the back of the pack, 7th. Harrison Lewis now being hounded by Stuart Ellis, and then Tyson Broad in front runs it in deep. And nearly checks up the 50 machine as well.
Yeah, wheel spin there for Lewis too, as he came out of the corner there and couldn't quite get any grip. And Ellis now back on the charge once again to try and get a position.
Does stretch out this group here now. Might just be Hins versus Shepherd for 3rd that's left to be decided. If these guys, it's Broad there scrabbling for grip through turn 13, really trying to fire the car in, and then he's wide through 14. Does kind of work for him though. He's able to get it pulled back towards the apex, power down, and keep him honest. He's got Lewis in behind now. Teammates, so they should be able to sort things out between the two of them without too much fuss, you'd think. But could be something to note there towards the end, as that's the look back from Thomas Hins and Dylan Shepherd here. Gap holds at around 4/10. And in fact, actually, ebbs and flows a little bit. So a little bit of a gain there, but not a ton. Shepherd in the draft. Both of them try and nail that apex at turn 1 to start lap 15. They've got less than 3 laps to run here from the Algarve International Circuit.
What a great track this is for racing too. I think it's turned into an instant favourite for myself.
Benefield.
For this season. Yeah, Benefield around that's turn 2.
Yep, on the run to turn 3. Broad's just gone wide at turn 5 under brakes by himself. Lewis alongside in the number 50 as well for good measure. They drop their cars, will make that a fairly coordinated exchange. I think the turn 1 apex curb indeed strikes again.
Someone just hit him then on the way through.
No, that driver there, which would be the 15 of 80 tail.
Was it Robbie Gibbs maybe?
Oh, actually, yeah, no, it might have been Robbie Gibbs, you're right, sorry, because it wasn't an all-black car. Aiden's in a black car tonight. Was able to slip through, I think, unharmed. And Lewis deep at turn 11. Doors open for Broad, but he's going to go the long way around through 12. Can he cross over towards 13? He can. As long as he can get it pulled up here, he'll be able to take that spot away. Running out of laps to gain any more spots, but I think the way they've dropped nearly 2 seconds on Dylan Shepherd, I don't think there'll be a change there between the pair of them. As on board with Ellis, you can see they're trying to get a run, but gets checked a little bit. And yeah, on screen there as well at the top. Alan Dawson being issued a drive-through penalty for the contact with Matthew Boyd. Saw the 069 Dynamic Sim Sports car launching itself across the grass.
Launching's a bit of an understatement on that incident, really. I still can't believe it found the gap in the fence.
I mean, if everything could go wrong with that one there, the car was apparently preordained to find the one place where it could stop and not trigger a safety car, as Ellis to the inside of Lewis at turn 3, but outside is enough room to get the power down and hold the spot with the crossover. No, Ellis is going to lock it up. He does jam on the anchors. He'll actually basically keep it on the track, but he'll lose the chance to challenge for 6th place, maybe even 5th. And he might just come under pressure from Samuel Sproul into the braking zone at turn 5. As a result, in fact, Sproul tried to get to the inside and had to go late. Has had run deep. And he's going to be under pressure from Simon Mazomo for an outright 9th place. The Pro-Am class leader has been just quietly sitting there, it seems, minding his business. Although he then runs into the back of Sproul at turn number 7, as Stefan Lawrence has gone around on the exit of turn 3 in the 052. Unfortunately, it feels like we see one moment and then another one props up all of a sudden. Dyson, his lead now 5.4 seconds, has come down about half a second, but that's not enough of a deficit to worry about. They are also negotiating a tiny bit of lap traffic here in the form of PJ Whiteman as well.
White flag will fly for Andrew Dyson, though. Been a great drive from him. As soon as he got the lead on lap 1, he's just driven away from the field, and everyone else has faltered behind him.
Yeah, everyone throwing 110% at it, and unfortunately, the tyres can only give you 100% of the grip that the carcass provides. And indeed, the white flag will fly. Dyson's already through turns 1 and 2, whilst I'm watching some drivers further on back coming down the start-finish straight still. So the question is, can Thomas Hinds hold on for 3rd place against Dylan Shepherd? That'll be one to watch as well. We've also got here Corey Lazarus. Can he find one spot on Harrison Lewis? He's going to certainly try on this final lap as he gets right up behind the number 50 machine through the first 3 turns. And then turn 4, pretty even there it seems. Lewis immediately commits to the defensive approach towards turn 5. Lazarus wanted to go to the inside, Jay, but he's parked up. He can't get there, and he almost runs into the back of Lewis for good measure.
Nice little bit of driving there from Harrison Lewis as well to defend that position. I tell you what, there's going to be some very, very strong defending here as well. Thomas Hinds is going to have to try his best to hold this spot off because Dylan Shepherd looks strong right now. Will he be able to steal that spot away as Stefan Lawrence comes in to serve drive-through? Incident limit is still very, very close for quite a few drivers.
Shepherd.
Oh, Shepherd up the inside. Oh, he's going to get it done.
Oh, he runs Hinsey off the road. Hinsey's going to stick in it, though, using the curbing. And as a result, inside for 13, but it'll be the outside last. Oh, Hinsey in hot. Almost runs himself off the road. Shepherd will get back through, and that should be job done. But at the front of the field, as you said, uncontested once he found clear air. Andrew Dyson, unfortunately, got spun in race 1, recovered to P6, and from a P5 starting position, will take the 2nd race of the night to conclude proceedings at Algarve at the front of the field. Matthew Bowler, though, with a 1st and then a 2nd. That is a round win to cap off a season start for the ERT number 12. Shepherd will come home 3rd ahead of Hinds, and then Broad and Lewis were able to come home. Corey Lazarus had a moment on the final lap and dropped back. As last couple of cars coming through here in the top 10, including Simon Mazomo, 10th outright, winner of the Pro-Am category this evening in race 2, and also for the round as well. And then our last couple of drivers, actually looking back to the AM class fight here. And this is going to be close, actually. 20th and potentially 17th for Adam Jepson versus 19th and 18th for Ben Jeffrey. I'm going to have to run the maths on that one there and see, does that count as a decisive win, or is that going to actually be a tie-up on points between the Bluebell Racing Team drivers for an AM class round win here tonight?
Well, looking at the gains and losses, they've literally swapped positions from that last race 1. So whoever finishes the highest in the 2nd race, I'm guessing, is the winner of the round.
I do have a relatively thorough countback procedure in case of considerations like this. And yeah, what I'll... actually, I'll be find it again so I can actually talk to it.
You go and crunch some numbers, and I'll run through the results, and then we'll talk about it. That's the best idea, I reckon. We'll go through these quickly with Dyson, Bowler, and Shepherd, your podium in race number 2. Thomas Hinds and Tyson Broad round out the top 5. Harrison Lewis held on to that position from Corey Lazarus. Battle across the line between Stuart Ayres and Samuel Sproul for 8th and 9th. And then rounding out the top 10 will be Simon Mazomo winning the Pro-Am class. Go over the page to Robbie Gibbs in 11th position from Aidan Cale. Daniel Benefield in 13th, with Ryan Jones rounding out a podium in Pro-Am finishes in 14th outright, 3rd in class. Lachlan Capel with the drive-through comes back to 15th outright, ahead of Jacob Lewis. And as we were just saying, Adam Jepson and Ben Jeffrey finishing in 17th and 18th, reversing their positions from race 1. Harry Lawrence in 19th, 20th to Ryan Bettes. And over the page for our last group of drivers, Dean Jacobson, Dan Miro, Brody Shepherd, Stefan Lawrence, Joshua Van Treek, and Greg Patrick, the last drivers on the lead lap. PJ Whiteman did have to serve a drive-through for incident limit, finishes in 27th position. And Alan Dawson, 2 laps down. Matthew Boylett, we saw that issues putting him in the fence, and Hayden Veld didn't come back out after that mechanical black flag. Ryan Preston, we said as well. Escape without permission. Dan, how's your calculator looking?
Well, I can tell you, having double-checked the point scheme, on points for the round, it was a dead heat between Adam Jepson and Ben Jeffrey. But as you did indeed suggest, looking at a count back for the round, going off of who got the best result practically tonight, because both races are weighted equally on points. Adam Jepson gets it on count back for finishing 17th in race number 2 there tonight. So it will be Matthew Bowler, the Pro Class round winner, Simon Mazzomo, the Pro-Am class winner, and Adam Jepson there to win the Am class as well. And that is just the opening round of the season, and we've still got another 7 to go. And the one thing that we haven't had a chance to mention yet, because this has been dry weather racing that's been pretty exciting, we've got wet weather that we can introduce to this category and this series this season. And we will be seeing rain next time out for round number 2.
Yeah, Navarra, next round out, we will see rain. We'll quickly grab a chat with our Pro round winner, Matthew Bowler. Congratulations. You tried your hardest last few seasons to get that P1. And you had a tough challenger there with Bo Albert, but tonight you're able to take advantage of his absence and get yourself some very, very good finishes, P1 and P2 in race 1 and race 2.
Yeah, pretty stoked, but also surprised at the same time. I didn't think I had much pace. Practice was very limited. I actually wanted to put a fair chunk of effort into the series this season, and I think this has probably motivated me to do that. Yeah, like you said, Bo not here tonight. I did message him asking if he was going to race, purely because I wanted to set up. But yeah, he said he couldn't make it, but I think he's racing the rest of the season, but don't quote me on it. But yeah, great competition. A lot of hard battling, a lot of 2 and 3 wides, probably where you shouldn't, but yeah, new track for me, and probably the first time I've driven this car in quite some time, so all around good experience, and yeah, pretty stoked to come away with P1 and P2.
Is this your first race around this track, and how have you found it? What did you think of Algarve and its technicalities?
Yeah, I only bought it the other week, and then started doing laps on it the other night, so yeah, it's definitely a different track. Pretty fun and open for like 2-wide racing and stuff like that. So it's pretty good fun in this car. However, I couldn't get the front to turn in as I would have liked to. So it was quite understeery, and especially with how much the temperature was fluctuating through races 1 and 2 and even quali, it was hard to stay consistent, I would say. So yeah, great track. Probably not my favourite, but yeah, happy with the results.
Tell us who gets this done for you and your team.
Yeah, just the guys at ERT. They're all putting in a bunch of work with other series, but it was nice to have Lockie Capel and Robbie and Hayden by my side tonight. So that was awesome. It's a good bunch of guys to talk to and race with, obviously. Thank obviously you guys at SimSpeed for hosting the broadcast. I'm sure the broadcast looks awesome. And just a big shout out to AOG for finally putting on another season.
There is Pro round winner Matthew Bowler, and Dan, I believe you've got our Pro-Am winner Simon Mazzomo.
That I do indeed, Mez. Well, we've pulled you away from the racetrack last couple of seasons, but you put your foot down a while ago and said you wanted to get some more driving in, and then you also decided to try and get free entry off me, and I begrudgingly accepted on that one there. But you were back in the Pro-Am class this season as well, and starting off on the right foot. Although, what happened there in qualifying, knowing you started 21st for this one here tonight?
It was definitely a steering wheel spacer issue in qualifying. Yeah, no excuses for that one. I just could not put the time on the board. So, yeah, made the night a bit harder trying to come through the field. But no, I'm actually genuinely shocked that managed to come away with it, because coming into this one, I'm really, really struggling with this car at the moment. I'm sort of, since the last time I raced it, it's obviously changed a bit, and I just, struggling to get my head around it. So, to keep out of trouble and come up with a round win, I won't knock it.
I mean, as you say, keeping out of trouble, the number of unfortunate, unforced errors we saw for a bunch of drivers tonight, especially like turn 4, putting the power down as the car crests the hill there, and the rear gets, it's unloading basically as they exit the corner there. Were there any moments that we missed there like that at all? You felt like it got close?
I had plenty of close moments out there. Yeah, I'm kind of not surprised. Like, it's just sort of, even looking at practice, you could see people doing the same thing I was doing, and it's just kind of like, okay, so it's not completely me. I think it's probably more the way the track works and the way this car works. Obviously, it's really undulating. This car really does not like being unloaded. You can obviously tell with a lot of the spins and stuff tonight that just as soon as the car gets unloaded, it's hard to control. So you've really got to be patient with the car, especially coming on the throttle. How you car place the car is really important as well. So like I said, I had quite a few moments tonight. Probably almost spat it a couple of times, but just at the end of the day, it was just kind of like, look, just get it to the end, get points. I sort of glad I got put back into Pro-Am, because I would like to go for the championship again. So it was just basically like, I know it's round 1, but hey, put points away. So it's the best you can do.
Yep. Well, as you said, 7 more. Well, not you said, but as you said, getting points was a good start. But there's 7 more rounds to go for this, and we didn't talk to Matt about it with talking about him and his pro classics, but rain will be on the cards next time out at Navara. Have you driven the car in the rain yet? And does it? What do you think that'll do to the experience around that place?
Yes, have driven this car in the wet. It's really, really good in the wet. And I've sort of since rain came out on iRacing, I've sort of been doing a bit more of it. There's a lot of leagues that we've sort of been running that it's been raining quite a bit, so I've actually had a bit of time in wet weather. So we'll see. I'm not going to get too confident too early. As I said, I'm still struggling with the car a bit, but we'll see when we get there. I'm decently confident in my pace in the wet and the way the car is. So not too worried. I've just got to put my head down and put some effort in.
Well, Mez, floor's all yours to wrap things up here for tonight. Who do you want to thank you for helping, or who helps you get it done in the 954?
Well, first off, big thanks to you for bringing back the Porsche Cup cars. Be good to get back at them again. Obviously, SimSpeed for putting on the broadcast again. Thanks, Dan Benefield, jumping in with me to do the series, helping out tonight. Big thanks to our sponsors, Racecraft, Turn In Apparel, RSW Graphics, Racing Ears, Prestige Photography, and thanks to all the guys at 9.5 for getting me back.
Well, there we are. Simon Mazzomo makes it a Pro-Am win to start the season off here, Jay, at Algarve, and it leaves us just the one final driver to chat to here. As you said, tied on points, but winning it on a count back in race 2. Adam Jepson getting it done for the AM class. I'll hand to you here.
Yeah, congratulations, Adam. Well done on a great result, and win it on a count back. You might as well take that. That's a win all in its own. But to beat your teammates always a positive as well.
Yeah, there's a bit of spice of rivalry going over the radios between the two of us. So I think I must have negged him out just that little bit much.
Talk to us about your thoughts on the track and the racing out there. What did you think of this amazing circuit and its technical quirks, I guess is probably the best way to describe it. It's not the easiest track to master.
No, very easy to get lost in some of these corners. You can be narrow, you can be wide. It all kind of marries up the same, which I guess is why it probably produced some spicy racing for the coverage. There was plenty of spinners going around. I was included in one of those, but yeah, I mean, it's a fun track and fun to be able to race and get loose and really push your limits of how well you race.
Now, next round we head to Navara. Firstly, have you driven Navara, and how do you think you'll go at that track in the wet?
I have driven it. Very bumpy when you get over the back curbs, and lots of stop-start sort of corners. So in the wet, traction down is going to be very interesting. I might have to do some practice for that one.
I'm sure you won't be alone in getting some practice sessions done throughout the week, and the next 2 weeks are going to be very, very exciting in anticipation for Navarra. Before we let you go and maybe even start your practice, who gets it done for you and your team?
Just the boys over at Bluebell Racing. We're just doing it ourselves, having a lot of fun.
Congratulations, mate. Well done tonight, and great drive from both you and Ben.
Thank you.
Well, with that all said and done, that concludes the interviews, and that will conclude the round coverage here from Algarve to get our season underway. And oh, would you look at that?
It's like
It's a
magic,
bit of
Dan.
B-roll. Yeah, it's like magic. In fact, I could almost say it's as if it's happening in real time or something like
Don't
that.
give away the magic.
But indeed, Circuito de Navarra in Spain will be the place we go for round 2 of this 9th AOG Porsche Cup season. We'll be getting the broadcast underway at 8:30, Australian Eastern Standard. Qualifying starts at 10 past 8 because we have our AM and Pro-Am class drivers that will kick off air. Hopefully, might even try and grab the class pole laps next time out there. But this is what we can expect when it comes to Navarra in the wet. It won't start wet, though. That's what I'll say so far, at least when it comes to the weather forecast and the general plan. But it also will be a different format to what we saw tonight, with a compulsory pit stop to factor in as well, Jay. Although, given when the rain's likely to fall, it probably becomes a bit of a moot point as to exactly what they'll do in the stop.
Yeah, I think the cool addition around rain has been the real unknown with rain. Sure, everyone understands that, yeah, there's going to be rain on the track, but when does it fall? How does it affect the car? How long can you push in the dry? There's really, really interesting factors around how the rain affects the car. Of course, we've seen rain in a few series with our open wheelers, but we haven't really seen it in other series with tin tops. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rain does affect the drivers when we get to Navarra in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, the closest thing we've had would have been GT3 cars at places like Phillip Island.
Yep.
And Sandown? Was I remembering that right? Or do we go dry for Sandown?
I think we
when
went
moved
dry
away?
for Sandown, but yeah, we definitely had rain at Phillip Island.
Rain at Phillip Island, yeah. Yeah, and it's saying that's a car with ABS and traction control and more downforce. So these kinds of cars, which we've seen tonight, a handful when they get unloaded, and then we're going to take away some more grip and get them on some treaded tyres. Well, as you said, Tuesday the 6th of August to find that one out. Hopefully, when that rolls around, I will be back in my normal spot on the race director's side. But
I'll be in my normal spot too.
you don't move spots.
Yeah, I move away from commentary and back into my normal seat of just producing the show.
Okay, fine. Fair point there. We'll look forward to having Reece Gardner and Brody Baldwin back on the microphones to bring you round 2 of this 9th season at AOG Porsche Cup. Big thank you to the Bowler Media team. We'll make sure to get their photos out once they're ready over the course of this week. And yeah, under that Bowler Media logo, that's a nice free gap there. Any potential sponsors might want to chat to me about. I'll be more than happy to have a chat about that because it'd be great to be able to get some trophies properly organised for the winning drives at the end of the season. But with all that said and done, for here and now, thank you for watching this first round of season number 9 from the Algarve International Circuit in Portugal. My name is Daniel Yeaman. It's been Jay Kennedy here on cameras and the microphone alongside me tonight. We hope to see you back in 2 weeks' time for Navarra and round 2.